With our extended forecast, we do have to start talking about the tropics. We've been talking about this a lot over the last couple of days, just because Bertha is so close to home and because it's our second named storm of the season. We've just been keeping in frequent talks with what's going on with this system and where things stand. So jumping into it right now, you can see this is the infrared satellite. So we're kind of getting a look as it makes its way towards the Texas coast. So this actually will be the second landfall it's had because it already rolled across the Louisiana coast throughout yesterday and throughout last night. So the second landfalling, but one thing remains the same with this system. It is not a very well organized tropical storm. Yes, it has a center of circulation that has a low pressure low enough to be a tropical storm and wind speeds high enough to be a tropical storm. But this, what you can actually really see on the infrared satellite, the area of bad weather, the strong showers and thunderstorms, is super disconnected from the center of the storm. And we've been talking about that a lot over the last few days. You can get a better picture of it when we flip it over to just the regular satellite and radar because you can see the circulation. It's actually up here over Louisiana still, where you start to see the showers kind of moving in a circular motion. That is actually where the circulation is. This is where the bulk of the bad weather is. And we talked about this a lot over the last few days, but to reiterate why that is the case, there's some really strong wind shear happening here in the Gulf. What wind shear is basically a change in wind direction with height. So as you get higher and higher in the atmosphere, these winds are actually blowing the center of circulation away from the showers and thunderstorms. It's actually tilting the storm to where instead of being vertically stacked like this, like a typical tropical system, it's actually tilted down towards the south. So all the showers and thunderstorms are down here south of the system, which actually ends up being a good thing. We don't necessarily want this to be a strong and well-organized tropical system. It's okay that it's a little bit disorganized because this means lower impacts for the Louisiana coast, portions of the Gulf Coast earlier this week, and then ultimately the Texas coast as it makes its second landfalling. They will still be impacted by the rainfall that you see here. It's making its way further and further into the southernmost portion of the Texas coast. But in terms of it being organized with this circulation, that's not going to be the case. So it's really just a situation of rainfall and some storms here. And this is where the circulation will kind of blow those stronger winds over into that area. So this is kind of where it stands right now. Really just some spotty showers up there crossing over from Louisiana into Texas right now. And again, this is the second landfalling of this storm. Yesterday we saw it move over Louisiana. Definitely brought some gusty winds here. We saw some high surf. Riptides is a concern with this system as it's kind of just drifting along the coast here. And now it is officially pushing its way into the Texas coast. Not long before this system really starts to die out. Interacting with two land masses will not make this very conducive for its continued formation. So by the time we get into early tomorrow morning, this will be a remnant low pressure system somewhere off in San Antonio. So that's kind of the status with Tropical Storm Bertha. Luckily, and we're very glad to see that it wasn't a very strong system, and actually the worst of the impacts ended up staying off a little bit further from the coastline. But there is still tropical storm watches and warnings in place because this system is still going to bring some gusty winds, high surf, things like that. But again, not the worst that we could have seen with the tropical system.